Ready for an adventure? We're going way back in time to a cave in France called Chauvet Cave.
It's incredible. Some of the best preserved cave paintings anywhere.
Older than the pyramids.
Way older. Older than Stonehenge, even.
We're talking seriously ancient art then.
It gives us a glimpse into life in the Upper Paleolithic period, how our ancestors lived, how they interacted with their world.
Their art too, right?
Of course, it's all connected.
We'll be looking at excerpts from an article on Chauvet Cave.
Some fascinating stuff.
Let's imagine ourselves back in 1994, southeastern France. 3 spelunkers.
Eliette Brunel Deschamps.
Right. Christian Hilaire and Jean-Marie Chauvet.
A cave's namesake.
Exploring limestone cliffs above the, well, what used to be a river, the Ardèche. What do they find?
A cave hidden for thousands of years, sealed off by a landslide.
So that's why the paintings are so well preserved.
Exactly. Like stepping back into the Ice Age.
But it's not just the paintings, is it?
Oh no, it's a whole snapshot of life back then. Bare footprints, nests, even fossilized bones. There's even a child's footprints. Maybe the oldest human footprints ever found.
Incredible. And then there are the paintings themselves. Hundreds of them. At least 13 different animal species.
A real diversity. And lots of predators.
Yeah, that's what I find so interesting. Cave lions, leopards, bears, even cave hyenas. Not your usual cave art subject.
No, it's not. Most other sites focus on herbivores.
Why do you think that is?
It might suggest a different relationship with animals back then. Maybe a deeper awareness of their power.
And the techniques they used are fascinating. They actually scraped the walls clean before painting.
Like preparing a canvas.
And they used incisions, etchings to add dimension, movement.
Some people say it almost looks like animation.
And they created scenes, too. Animals interacting, like rhinoceroses locking horns.
Tells a story, doesn't it? Makes you wonder what they were trying to say.
And it's all over 30,000 years old. Incredible. But wait, didn't I hear something about the dating being debated?
Initially, radiocarbon dating put the paintings at 32,000 to 30,000 years old.
The Aurignacian period, right?
Yes, but some thought the style looked more like later art.
So how do you settle a debate like that?
With more science. They looked at rock formations near the cave entrance, even analyzed the decay of elements in the rock.
Yeah.
They confirmed the initial Aurignacian dating.
So those researchers must have been relieved, but I bet it raised even more questions.
Oh, absolutely. A later study using even more radiocarbon dating found evidence of 2 different periods of human occupation.
2 different groups of people living in the cave, thousands of years apart.
That's what it looks like. One group, 37,000 to 33,500 years ago. The other, 31,000 to 28,000 years ago.
Wow, that changes things.
And most of the black drawings are from that older period, a direct connection to people from so long ago.
Makes you wonder what their lives were like, what they believed. This is getting really interesting.
Those paintings are 36,500 years old. Amazing, isn't it?
It's hard to even imagine. And the techniques they used, so advanced for the time.
We talked about how they scraped the walls smooth, like a canvas.
It shows real intention, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And look at the details in the paintings, the charcoal outlines, those bold figures.
The details are incredible. The muscles, the movement. You can almost feel the texture of their fur.
They had an incredible grasp of animal anatomy.
Well, they had to, right, to hunt them, to avoid being hunted.
Exactly. And that close connection is reflected in the art. Not just the accuracy, but the variety of animals.
All those predators.
Right. Not just horses and bison, lions, hyenas.
Do we know why? Why so many predators here compared to other sites?
It's a bit of a mystery. Some believe it might point to a belief system, something about the significance of those predators.
Maybe they saw them as spirits, totems,
Possibly. Or it could be tied to hunting rituals.
trying to control them through art.
Maybe. It's like we're trying to decipher a code.
And we may never know for sure.
True. But every discovery gets us a little closer.
We've talked about charcoal, but they used other colors too, right?
They used red ochre, a natural earth pigment. It creates a really vibrant effect.
And sometimes they combine the charcoal and ochre.
To add shading, depth.
I read something about hand stencils too. Did they actually use their hands?
They did. They'd place their hand on the wall and blow pigments over it. It leaves that ghostly outline.
Wow, that's so cool.
A direct connection to the artists, their presence in that space, all those years ago.
And it wasn't just painting. They created engravings too.
Images scratched directly onto the rock. Some just outlines, others incredibly detailed.
I can't imagine the skill that took, especially with the tools they had.
They had to be resourceful, using what they could find.
Like what? Animal bones, sharpened rocks.
Not far off. Animal hair for brushes, sharpened flint for engraving, hollowed out bones to blow the pigments.
And they needed torches too, right? For light.
Of course, those caves are dark.
So much went into creating this art. The tools, the pigments, finding their way around the cave. It wasn't easy.
And researchers believe it was a communal effort.
Many people working together.
Exactly. A shared goal. It makes the cave even more special.
Not just individual talent, but a reflection of their culture. I was just thinking, we said there might have been two different groups of people living in the cave.
Right. Thousands of years apart.
What if they interacted in some way, even across time? What if the later artists were inspired by the earlier ones?
That's a fascinating idea. Passing down knowledge and stories through generations through their art.
An artistic conversation across millennia.
Exactly. It shows the power of art. Transcending time, connecting us to those who came before.
It makes you think about our own place in history. We've talked about the discovery, the dating, the techniques, even the tools those artists used.
It's incredible how this art has survived for over 36,000 years.
It really is. But what do you think was going through their minds as they created these images deep inside the cave?
That's the question, isn't it? What were they trying to express?
It's a mystery.
Well, researchers have some theories. Some believe it was a way to influence events, a kind of magic.
Sympathetic magic, like paint a bison and you'll have a successful hunt.
That's one idea. Others think it was more about documenting the world around them, a visual record.
Like a prehistoric Instagram.
In a way, yes. And then there's the idea that it was primarily spiritual expression.
To connect with the supernatural.
It's possible. Caves are naturally mysterious places.
Almost otherworldly.
And some of the imagery in Chauvet does seem to support that idea.
Like those partial Venus figures.
Exactly. Maybe connected to fertility, the cycle of life.
And what about those more abstract images, the ones some people interpret as butterflies or birds?
They do seem to point to something more symbolic.
It's fascinating, like we're getting glimpses into their worldview.
And then there are the scenes of animals interacting.
Those rhinoceroses.
There's a sense of story there.
Do you think they were sharing knowledge, beliefs?
It's certainly possible. Like the stories we tell today passed down through generations.
And that connection to the natural world, it's so clear.
These animals were integral to their lives. Not just food or danger, but part of their myths, their identity.
It makes you think about our own relationship with nature.
Very different, isn't it?
And yet, there's that shared human need to create, to find meaning. It connects us.
It transcends time.
This has been a fascinating exploration.
Chauvet is an incredible place.
A reminder of how long humans have been creating art.
And what we can learn from the past.
And thanks to that replica, people can actually experience it.
It's not the same as the original, of course.
But it's a way to connect with that ancient legacy.
A remarkable feat of human ingenuity.
Well, that brings our exploration of Chauvet Cave to a close. Thanks for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the journey.